Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of the Have and Have Nots. Before I start, I would like to say if you enjoy my reviews, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and if you want, comment on any of my videos. I appreciate any and all subscribers. And also I always give my links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. And at the end of the video, I'll show you a clip of my series, Phoenix Tremaine's Thirsty. It's my soap opera, and the scene that you're going to see is one of the characters has a multiple personality disorder. It's a classic soap opera, so of course I got to have somebody with a multiple personality disorder who has to call on one of her personalities to help her out in seducing her boyfriend, who she's been having some trouble with. So I'm going to put that at the end of this particular review. Hopefully you'll enjoy it and take a look at my show, Phoenix Remains Thirsty, on www.webseriesandmovies.com. And the Have Nots. It's been a rough season for me. Because there are good episodes. When Have Nots is good, it's good, and when it's not, it's really not. And I actually enjoyed this episode with a lot of gripes, so I liked it. I especially appreciated that they didn't have any really long, extended scenes like the Have Nots likes to do. They actually really did jump around, showing you a variety of characters and a variety of storylines, which I appreciate greatly. And so I took some notes on the episode, breaking down pretty much every scene. And it started with David still doesn't know about the goddamn affair. Now, I think there's only 3 or 4 episodes left. So I'm hoping that, Veronica told him she was having an affair in this episode. But she's told him that before, and he didn't believe her, and I don't think he believes her this time. I think that David actually has to catch her fucking in order for him to actually want to do something about them having an affair, because he's such a pussy. I mean, I complain about this all the time about David being a pussy, but he was really pussified in this episode, but I'm going to get to it. But Maggie realizes that David is very fragile when he tells her that he can't take any more. So rather than tell him that she had an affair, she says, I don't know what she's doing here. And so he just assumes it's about the car, and then we just move on. Then we move on to Jim and Wyatt. And this scene is a scene that's very... This is a storyline that I'm having issues with, that I'm always got my fingers crossed, hoping that it'll be done right. I know that I mentioned in the last video, when I was a kid, I was molested, raped as a kid. And so I've written about male molestations and male rapes, and the current show that I'm actually writing for, that I'll be casting for, if you're in the Baltimore DMV, Washington D.C. area, I'll be casting for my web series Hush Mode, and it does deal with male rape in one particular storyline, and I think it should be done correctly, and this just really feels rushed, and just the acting's off, and but in it, Jim goes to check on Wyatt because David told him he needs to get down there. And when he goes to check on Wyatt, he finds out that Wyatt was beaten and raped. And so they track down the guard that let the guy into the cell, and Jim roughs him up a little bit. I mean, this guard really let Jim just do whatever he wanted. I mean, it's not the Dukes of Hazzard. John Snyder isn't, like He-Man or anything. And this guy just kind of let it hit him. No retaliation or nothing, and got threatened. And, I mean, I would have wrote the scene differently, but it's not my show. But what got me and what I didn't like was when he finally got to Wyatt and he was so abrasive. This is a father who put his son in jail. He got raped, something he wasn't expecting to happen. And rather than show any type of empathy, he instead continues his berating him and even makes it seem like he's going to leave him in jail anyway. So, I felt like in this moment, there's tough love, and I'm a tough love kind of guy, but, there's tough love, but then there's also got to be some love in there too. And they did give Jim a moment where just before he saw Wyatt, or after he saw Wyatt, he started crying and grabbing his hair and whatnot, and, showing he's angst ridden. And I understand that for the character, he still has to be hard and let Wyatt know that, he means business. But I think after getting raped, he pretty much got the point. Then we switch to Candace. Leaves and Hannah stays, is my note. Basically, the social worker says, look, you both have to leave the hospital. And they show Candace her bounces. I mean, she wants to stay, but when she's told she's not supposed to, Candace leaves. Hannah, in turn, says, well, I may not be able to be in a room with them, but I'll sit in the waiting room no matter how long it takes for an answer to come down from a judge. And she's like, you can't kick me out the hospital, just the room. So, which technically they weren't even in the room. So, that scene, I know what they're setting up. Obviously, Tyler's leaning more towards Hannah being the most capable one to handle a child. But honestly, Hannah is just as dysfunctional as Candace. They're just two different sides of the same coin. And I think that Hannah is raised Candace, so who's to say, she can raise his kid right? So once he starts not doing what he's supposed to do, or not wanting to go to church, or acting up, even Benny has been. I know he's probably got some brain issues, but even Benny's been a little obstinate towards Hannah. So, and she's living in poverty, and she's got a job, and she can't really be there for the kid, and Quincy beat her ass, and and he's still out there. He can come back. What Hannah gonna do? Hannah don't have no gun. Hannah can't fight. If anything, Candace technically probably is street smart and savvy enough to be able to protect her son now that she's got, would be able to have control over him, and she technically don't have a job, but she's got millions of dollars, so she definitely could hire someone to protect the kid. Anything. They don't know she's got money, but in my book, Candace, deserves a chance for her kid. And Jim apologizes to Wyatt. So Jim does take Wyatt home from the jail. They're in the car. Jim is still being an ass. But he does apologize to Wyatt, says he's sorry. And Wyatt really doesn't seem to take his apology, but he's being very yes sir, no sir. And, he's like, are you getting angry, Wyatt? And Wyatt's like, no sir. I saw what happened at the end of the episode, but we kind of knew where this was going. Jeffrey doesn't want money from David. So Jeffrey comes to David and he wants to tell him that, the latest thing his mother's did, put Melissa in his apartment and put her name on a lease. And David was like, oh, let me get my checkbook. I know you need some money. And Jeffrey's like, no. She's using money to control me, and I need to get out there on my own, make my own money, and just be my own man, be my own person. And then he pretty much tells his father what we've all been saying for probably 2 seasons. David's a pussy. And he tells his father, you're scared of her. And that, when I was a child, I did something wrong. You disciplined me and made sure I knew what the right thing to do was. But yet, when it comes to mom, who's a grown ass fucking woman, you don't give her any consequences, which is true. I mean, he hasn't threatened divorce or none of that, or even really spoke up, to her. He just kind of looks at her and tells her she's crazy, which only makes her even crazier. He hasn't figured that out yet. Calling Veronica crazy just makes her say, "Oh, I'll show you crazy. You think I'm crazy? Watch this." And then that's when she ends up in a restaurant breaking plates and dishes and glasses and shit. Making scenes. Um, so that was that. Jeffrey pretty much said, "Dad, you're a pussy. Let your balls drop and be a man, bitch." He didn't say bitch, but he was thinking it. Then Hannah gets told that she's most likely won't get Quincy by the social worker, but she mentions the judge's name that'll make the decision. Immediately, I said, "Oh, she's gonna go to Mrs. Cryer, and the judge is gonna rule in Hannah's favor as a favor to Mrs. Cryer." So that was my guess. As soon as I heard that they specifically said the judge's name. It's sort of heavy-handed writing, so it's there's not a lot of subtlety in the writing of the have and have-nots. And Candace gets a place, and she's falling for Oscar. She's now depending on Oscar, needing Oscar, and she's saying please to Oscar, and she wants Oscar to come back when Benny's gone, and so we know this is going to end very badly, that Oscar is working for either Jim or David, and this shit's going to really blow up in her face, and somehow, some way, he's going to get her money so she's poor again, and she can be a have-not. Especially since she's spending with so much money, which she can technically afford, but she's spending so much money that when whatever scheme or plot comes down, I doubt she'll be left with anything. And then, I put a note, bad makeup. Have-nots. Tom Perry, isn't he like a billionaire? Can't he afford a makeup artist? A good one? It's back. Candace's acne is back. I mean, Tika Sumter's done movies. She's done One Life to Live. She's done The Game, and not once did I ever see her acne. Okay? But have-nots. Whoever her makeup artist is does not know how to do her makeup. And like last episode, I didn't notice it, but I've been noticing it for a while. And I even noticed some of the guys too this episode, that, I'm not used to seeing actors on a decent budget production having, makeup issues. Usually that's the one thing you don't think about. So when you actually see makeup issues, it's like, damn, y'all didn't fix that? Y'all didn't see that in editing? But yeah, Candace's makeup is horrible. Not because you can see her acne, and you can almost see the stage makeup, caked on her face. It's not good makeup at all. They need to fire that person quick. But Candace is showing Benny her new luxurious house, which actually I thought wasn't that luxurious or expensive. Maybe because they didn't really do a tour of it. Sorry about that. But it is midnight. And it's my bedtime. But anyway, basically she surprises Benny by buying him a house. And Benny's wants Hannah to move in, and Candace is like, hell no, I don't want her that close to me. And she definitely don't want her mother living in luxury, because they show Benny's house and they show all the different rooms, and Benny's house looks better than Candace's house. So I don't know what that's about. But Benny wants Hannah to move in, and Candace is like, once you tell her I'm the one who got you the house, she's not moving in. So, and I know these ain't real people, but, he's supposed to be with her all his life, and he don't realize yet that if Candace touches anything, Hannah doesn't want anything to do with it. So Candace is right. She's like, I ain't gonna argue with you. She ain't moving in. Now, there could be a twist and she moves in, but I mean, if Hannah stays true to form, if she knows Candace has anything to do with the house, she's not moving in it. And she won't let Benny move in it either. Um, now, and then Hannah is there when Wyatt, Jim brings Wyatt home, and his mother asks him, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "No." And so like a 2-year-old or like a 10-year-old, running away from home, Wyatt goes to his room, starts packing bags, and calls Jeffrey, "Come get me." He's not 15, 16. He's a grown ass man. And, if he wants to bounce and disappear, like when his father's like, "I'm going to turn this car around and take you back to jail," I was like, "No, the fuck you not. I would jump out this bitch and go rolling down the street before I let you take me back to jail." When technically, you can't. It's illegal. This is false imprisonment. So Wyatt, like a teenage runaway, um, calls Jeffrey the only one who he can depend on, and as he says in the scene, the only one he can trust. Uh, we know this is leading to them fucking. So we're on season 3. Fuck already. Maybe now that he got raped in jail, he's thirsty for dick. I don't know, but we know where this is going. At least a kiss by the season finale is my prediction. Um, Veronica um, is summoned by David to his office, and Veronica listens to David go off on her, and when he's finished, she simply gives him they never say they're divorce papers, but we can pretty much figure out that the folder she handed him were divorce papers. So, I'm almost finished. And I'm going to take my butt to bed. But, Jeffrey, Veronica, now, David doesn't want to get a divorce. And he's actually blindsided and shocked because he pretty much tried to put Veronica in place like Jeffrey told him to do. But Veronica always being one step ahead has these divorce papers and say what you want, I'm done. She tells him that she's fucking Benny. He doesn't believe her. And she's talking about she having good sex. He's talking about, when will you stop with these shenanigans? I don't think he said shenanigans, but games or something he said. But pretty much he meant shenanigans. And Hannah asked Catherine for help, as I predicted. It's a smart thing to do. She helped her with cancer. Now help her with the kid. And Catherine's like, "Anytime I can stick it to your daughter, I will." And Hannah's like, "That's still my child." Well, bitch, you're trying to steal your child's kid, so fuck you. I hate hypocrites. Either you're going to try to forgive Candace for whatever she's done to make Hannah hate her so much, and try to work through it. Because honestly, based on Tyler Perry's plays, based on his movies, based on some of his other TV shows, he always comes back around to family have to stick together, family have to love each other. But in this show, Hannah and Candace should form a united front. They should put their difference aside for the child. That would be the best way to write this and to show some unity within the family, and then have them break down a little bit later, which is how I would write it. I would have them come together for the child, and then, once the child is safe from Quincy, then, have something happen like Candace is fucking Oscar, and she doesn't realize that the kid's like doing something, he might burn himself or something. Then Hannah's like, "Oh fuck no, I need the kid." There's plenty of ways to just go. I'm not writing the show, so it is what it is. And then Wyatt, Jeffrey does pick up Wyatt, and he tells him, I was in jail. He almost tells him he was raped, but he's like, it was bad, and let's get out of here. So they go running off together, like lovers. And finally, it ends with Jim at the press conference, which they've been advertising all week. We finally get to the press conference, and I predicted this last week. I don't know if I said it in the video, but I said the big secret is going to be Celine finally realizing that Jim is not going to take care of her or take her back. You know, let the world know that she has 2 kids with him. And that's exactly what happens. So Jim gets blindsided with Celine on satellite to to talk with her 2 kids. You know, Jim, these are your kids. You know, so how long have you been cheating on your wife? And did she know? And then the show goes off. So, you know, next week does look good. We'll see. Have nots. It's like a roller coaster. They have one really good episode followed by one really bad episode. So hopefully they'll break the pattern, and these last few episodes will continue to turn up, and they'll be good. I mean, fingers crossed. I've been watching this long. You know, I'll keep on watching. But so, like I said, I had some gripes about the episode, but overall it was entertaining, and it did move the story forward. Because sometimes my biggest complaint about the Have and Have Nots is that we watch a whole episode of shit we already seen before, and storylines that we've already seen those story threads before, those points, those plot points. We've seen them before. We know, bitch crazy. All right, now next. So that's it for my review of the Have and Have Nots. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Once again, please like. Oh, also, all the new subscribers that I have, thank you for subscribing to me. I really, really appreciate you subscribing. It's a thrill of mine. You know, I get the email, new subscribers, woohoo! And like I said, my Facebook page, I went from 1,600 friends to 5,000, and now my followers on Facebook is like close to like 600-700. So, you know, and that was like 100 and something. So thank you. You know, until I asked, you know, I wasn't getting folks, but now folks are actually, you know, checking me out on Facebook as well. And if you don't know, Facebook for me, like I don't have a personal Facebook page. I was talking to one of my fitness clients today. I don't have a personal Facebook page. Facebook is business to me. And what I do on my Facebook page is I take things that I like and I share them with my friends and my followers. And I share things that are important to me. So I do things like I'll post different Black History stuff. And I'll post lots of very hot women. Like I'm on Tumblr like every day. And so pictures that I find to be really beautiful and tasteful, I will post on Facebook of women and men. So, you know, whatever you like, I'm giving it to you. You want women, hot girls, you want hot guys, there you go. Also, because I'm into health and fitness, and I have to date lost 18 pounds. Hopefully tomorrow it'll continue to go down, but I'm trying to lose 60 pounds in 6 months. I lost 46 pounds in 4 months before, and now I'm videotaping myself with my recipes and my exercise plans so that come New Year's resolution time, January 1st, I will have all of my videos ready for you to peruse and view and buy if you want, or just, you know, get the tips or whatever. And you can do what I'm doing. You can lose weight, you can become muscular. You know, my program isn't like anyone else's program. And this is the only diet and exercise program that you'll see where a person is going from, like, I've gained weight because my mother died and I started eating soul food and shit, trying to think about my childhood and all the shit she used to cook. And now I'm reversing that a year later and getting back to my athletic, healthy weight. And some videos of myself every morning. I do a weigh-in every single morning for the last 2 months. I've done a weigh-in, and so far, I think this morning I lost I'm at an 18-pound weight loss, and I'm in like month 2, week 3. So I'm right on course for, losing weight and doing everything I need to do. And next month's gonna be really hard because, my diet gets really restrictive in month 3. So hell, by month 6, I'm gonna be, completely restricted in my diet and stuff like that. But those tips are also some of the things I put on Facebook. I put diet information, fitness information, health information, funny, humorous pictures, quotes, memes. So, if you follow me on Facebook, then you'll see all of that. And then I have my web series and movies.com website where you can see my independent films, which my independent film, I'll probably release that in October, November. But I have one of my web series on there. I have like 5 web series, but I put the Verse one on there, and there's an on-demand version on, and there's a free version of the show on. So, web series and movies.com, I do the same thing. I know it's web series and movies, but entertainment news, Empire, music, movies, reviews, and all this kind of stuff. So I do the same thing I do on Facebook. I put beautiful pictures. I spotlight artists. I spotlight other web series other than my own. And I try to keep you on the latest entertainment news. So whether it's, I love Empire. So whether it's Empire related, or whether it's, Kathy husband died, or, Beyonce done done some shit, and, anything, music wise or movie or entertainment wise. If I think it's something you'd be interested in, I put it out there on my site, on Facebook, which when I put something on my site, it goes to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, blah, 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 blah. So, but I think I've totally informed you on my other activities. So if you're still hanging in there and you're still watching, I'm putting my clip on now. It's a good clip. And like I said, Serena is her sexual personality. So, the crazy one just killed somebody in episode 1, whereas her sexual one is now trying to seduce her boyfriend. So hopefully you will enjoy that. And I'm going to play that right now.
Serena, I need you right now. I can't do this. When it comes to sex, you don't have to ask me twice.